All right, guys, we're almost there, man. I can feel it. I just gotta get that in there. Oh yeah. Wee boy. Come on. Okay guys, this is the front axle out of Rusty. We've taken it completely apart, cleaned it, painted it, ordered new parts, and it's ready to go back together. So the first thing we need to do is get the old bushings out. If you notice, this bushing sticks out just a little bit, but that's about the thickness right here. In the book, if you look, you'll see the required amount. 1.4 to 1.7 millimeters. All right guys, this is the tool we're gonna use to knock out the old bushings and put the new bushings back in. My friends over at VW Life let me borrow this tool. Appreciate it, guys. They also let me borrow the reamer. All right, let's get the beam on the ground so we can get some leverage on it and knock out those bushings. This first one's gonna drive out this top one. All right. You can see it coming out now. There goes the first one. All right, we got the first one out. Let's knock out this last one. There it goes. All right, so I'm gonna just get the grease out of here, clean this up a little bit. All right, so here's what it looks like. With no bushings, cleared out of there, ready for the new ones. Okay, so we got the new bushings here. And if you just take a quick note here, there are some directions on how they should be put in. Drive new bushes in so that the end at which the groove begins faces inwards. So this is where the groove begins on each side, there and there. There's two grooves. These grooves go in towards the grease nipple on each side, okay? So the grease nipple's in the middle. You want these two lines that go all the way to the end that go towards the middle. All right guys, we got the old bushings out. We cleaned this tube really good, and we're gonna put the new bushings in. We're gonna just put a little bit of grease on here. Let's start with this bottom one here, and put the grease passages inward. Okay. Let's see if we can drive this baby in. Try to get it lined up nice and straight here. All right, that was almost perfectly flush there. It's looking pretty good. All right, guys, we got the first one in. Nice and flush. And let's drive in the top one. Just a little bit more. Pretty close, a little bit, just a tiny bit more. All right, guys, it's almost perfect. Not too bad. I think we're spot on with the depth here on the new one. Got the grooves going in the right direction. This one is flush. Look at that, it's almost perfect. Let's get it back up on the table and get the torsion arms installed. Right. All right, guys, we've got the new bushings in. Old bushings are out. We're gonna install the torsion arms. We're gonna get them lubed up. They've been cleaned. We pulled them out. We cleaned them really good with brake clean and everything. And we're gonna lube them up with some grease and slide them in. This particular beam, you know, from the factory, they welded the ends here, and the ends break. Even in the book it says, you know, if the weld breaks, to just weld it back together so that you can help slide it in. I did weld this end. It's a little boogered up, but it's holding. I'm gonna weld this in real quick. And we're just clamping it so it stays in place, and then we're gonna try to weld a little spot over that, or right in this area. The rest of them are being held on. It's just that one crack right there. So if we can get that to hold, we'll be good. It's not pretty, but I think that'll work. All right, guys, it's looking pretty good. Let's get these torsion arms lubed up with some grease. You gotta line it up just right, because the inside of this tube has a fitting that fits exactly around these bars. Make sure you put it in the right way. There it goes. Look at that. Awesome. It's in there. You guys need some grease? So let me show you real quick one of these. All right, we got the first one in there. And I'm not sure if you can see, in the middle of that tube is a bracket. And it's shaped just like the end, you know, it's shaped just like the torsion bars here. So it has to go in just right in the center, and it holds it in position. You can see how you can see down in there, I've greased the whole tube. I poured rust inhibitor in there a little bit, and then I rotated the beam by hand and kind of let it, you know, the rust inhibitor go all the way down the tube, back and forth, let it dry, and then I took this little piece of rod here, some blue shop towels on here. So the shop towels are at the top, just like a little ball of shop towels with a little tape on the end just to hold it on there. And what I would do is I would dunk it. I would cover the ball, the end of the rod with grease, and then it fit in there perfectly. And I could just all the way down the tube to about the middle, which is about as far as you can go anyway. And then you do the other side. So let's lube this one up and we'll start putting this thing together. All right, let's slide it in there. Here we go. All right. Yes. We're in, guys. Nice. Woo. Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get these bushings reamed out so we can get the new link pin to fit in there, because it won't fit right now. Let's do it. I've got the reamer here, and I do not have the proper wrench to turn it, so I'm going to use vice grips to give me a couple handles here. Hopefully that'll give us a stable turn. And we're going to go in from the bottom, and we're going to turn to the right, and don't ever go backwards. And then when we go to pull it out, we're going to continue to turn it to the right. Don't turn it backwards as we pull it out. All right, guys, here we go. Now this is tapered just a little bit at the beginning to help slide you in, and then you'll see it stops, right? So it's tapered to allow you to get started, and then we just want to slowly turn into it. Nice and slow. You can kind of start to feel it grab. I guess you could, probably wouldn't hurt to put a little WD-40 in there. Okay, it's starting. You can start to see it coming through the grease fitting area. You definitely want to make sure you remove the grease fitting before you start this. You want to remove it before you removed the bushings, but I can see the head of it starting to come through that hole there now. So we are making some progress. You see it coming through the center point there. So we're through the first bushing, and we're going to start going into the second one here. So that's basically it. And I'll turn it a few more times and we'll start pulling back just slightly. It should just kind of slide back out. All right, guys, I'm turning a few more times. We're through both of the bushings. And you can kind of feel it. The resistance kind of is lightening up. And it's completely reamed out now. So it should start, we should be able to put a little downward force on it. As we're pulling it out, keep turning it. Keep turning it. Same direction. All right. All right, there it is. There's some of the shavings. So this is what we reamed out here. Shavings are all around it. All right. So we're gonna spray all those shavings out with brake clean. Get that cleaned up, and then we'll see how the lever fits in there. All right, guys, we're gonna spray those shavings out of there. All right, we're gonna take some compressed air and get the rest out, but you can see all those came out of there. So you just want to make sure you get all the shavings out. I'm gonna hit this with some compressed air and get the rest out. Stand by. All right, guys, we've got the new bushings in, and we have them reamed and all cleaned out. Sprayed everything with brake clean, got all the shavings out of there, and then blew everything out with high compressed air. Double checked everything. And then I sprayed some WD-40 on a rag and wiped everything down because I got some brake clean on the paint. I'm hoping that'll help keep the paint from deteriorating from the brake clean. Not sure if it's that strong or not, but we're looking pretty good in there. Let's see how the new pin fits. It's right here. Let me put a little grease on it, hold on. Just gonna put some grease, a little grease on here. Maybe I should have put gloves on. Oh well. Let's see how it fits. That's not good. Well, guys, I didn't ream it far enough, so I didn't realize it. I got so excited earlier, but I actually needed to go a little further. So I'm going back in. I didn't go up far enough. Now we're good. Now we should be good. And I can pull the reamer out this way. So I don't have to. All right, we gotta clean it again. All right, guys, learn from my mistakes. Ream the bushings out completely. Make sure that the reamer goes up far enough so that the top one is completely reamed. And put the torsion bars in after you ream, because you need to be able to move the beam around to go spray it off and stuff. So it's a little easier, it's a little lighter. But let's try this now. This should go all the way in now. Yeah, nice. So we reamed it all the way through. It fits nicely, and there's no slack. There's no play in there. If you remember, the old one had some wiggle room. It was like this one, no wiggle room at all. It's not tilting. It moves nicely, back and forth, up and down perfectly. But there's no gap in between for it to wiggle. So we are good. That is nice. Very nice. We're gonna put the this new washer on. Put a little bit of grease on it. Lube it up. Put that on. Slide that in. Okay, so that goes right there. Got some grease on it on both sides. Should be good. Okay. This little washer seal goes on. Got these sitting in some hot boiling water. Let them boil on the stove for a few minutes. It's pretty hot, so that's supposed to help loosen them up. Let's see what happens. Oh yeah, a little bit. A little bit, not much. Am I putting it on the wrong way? I don't know if this is the right way to put this on or not. It didn't come with any directions, but it fits nice and snug this way. I'm not sure what difference it would make if it was on this way or not. I don't know, what do you guys think? Fits really good that way. I think I'm gonna leave it that way. Let's see how it looks with the other stuff on. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that. Let's see what happens. Got this, sits in here. Okay. All right, guys, this was tight, so I ended up reaming I ended up reaming this out just a little bit, cleaned it up, and now it fits onto the new one nicely, and it spins. Because you need to be able to get it on there and then align it. There's a groove right here. This groove, this is the original bolt. See how it's supposed to ride in that groove right there? The new bolt has more thread on it. So it's gonna ride in the thread. I think I'm gonna use the original bolt because it has more of this smooth space here for that groove to ride on. I'm gonna mess around with it real quick here and see how it fits. Stand by. So you want to line that groove up here with this, where the bolt goes through. And you might have to compress it with a C-clamp. And then that bolt goes in like so, but it's got to be compressed. Like so. It's got to be compressed some more. Let me grab a C-clamp and see if I can clamp it down. All right, I got a C-clamp here. Let's see if we can compress that down far enough. I think we're close. We're real close. Try not to screw up our new paint job here. Okay, there it goes. You can kind of see it. So you need to be able to compress this arm down on that pin, right? So I've just got it clamped to the bottom of the table here. The pin is resting on the table, so that's pressure on that. If this was in the vehicle, you'd probably put the clamp on the pin itself on the bottom. And then as you can see, as you start to turn it, you're gonna see that pin, that arm go down on the pin. See it go down? So now we should be able to get the screw through this hole, and you can see that groove in the pin where it's supposed to line up. Let's see. Yeah, it slides right in now. And this side is threaded, so that screws right in. I don't remember if there was a washer there or not. Oh, you know what? There's a lock. There is a lock. Whatever they call those things. Where are the lock? Here it is. This thing right here. So this thing goes on. I think the long side goes here, short side goes here. I will double check that, but that seems to make sense, right? Okay, so we're locked in now. We don't have to torque it yet. We'll let's leave it like this until we're sure we got everything just right. Let's release the clamp, and we should be good. Yeah. Oh man, that feels nice and tight. Yeah, that feels good. So I'm not gonna tighten this yet. I'm gonna double check, make sure I got this on right. I think I do, and then we'll bend these tabs over, and we'll torque this down. I think it's torqued to, I gotta double check, but I think it's 40 pounds or something like that. But I don't wanna do it yet. I wanna wait and make sure I've got everything on, so that way in case I have to take it off again. All right guys, we've got the swing lever and the swing lever shaft installed. We got the swing lever shaft bushings installed, and we have the torsion bars installed. So far, so good. I'm gonna wait to torque this, find out what torque spec it should be. It's in there somewhere, I'm gonna find it. Let's start putting everything back together. The only thing I didn't use from this kit, from the swing lever kit, is this bolt, because it felt like the original bolt fit better, and it lined up with the pin where in that groove. I think the bolt's supposed to be smooth where that groove is, not threaded. So keep your original parts, guys, just in case. Here's the Zerk fitting. I've already tested it. You can see the new grease in there. We pushed out all the old grease out of all the fittings. We can put this back in here now. We'll tighten it down just a little bit, snug it up. We'll grease everything when we're done. I've already greased all of these fittings, but I'll show you on this other one. I've greased both of them, but I'm gonna run some more through that one. All right, guys, I wanted to show you the grease coming out of these fittings. There is an issue here. I took off this cap because I thought I was gonna take these apart, and so I didn't know what I was doing. I ended up drilling a hole in the bottom of that to pull it out. I should have just left it alone. I ordered a new one, but I can't get it to fit. It's too big. If you guys have any ideas, I might put the old one back in and just put some JB weld on this hole to cover it, or weld the hole, you know, cover it up with a new weld. Let me know what you think about that. But all the grease fittings do work. You can see the grease coming out of there. I've already ran new grease through here several times. That's why it's, you know, there's not a lot of old grease left in there, so it's nice and clean coming out of there. I just got to figure out how to get that cap back on. This fitting right here is connected to one of the brake lines, so I got to find that one. But you can kind of see the grease coming through there. All right, we got the seals on all the arms, and then I'll put the grease on because the seal was pushing all the grease all the way off. Seems like it makes sense to do that. Put the seals on first, and then lube these up. It's kind of crazy to think that the last time somebody touched these was back in 1962. As far as, you know, being reconditioned, it's pretty cool. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's get these, slide those in there. We gotta line these up just right. Oh, you know what? Let's see about putting that snubber on there. Let's see if we can get this snubber on here. I'm just gonna put a little grease down in here and right here. Let's see if that helps. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one on real quick. Here it goes. You can tell it goes on because it makes that box in. It feels. All right, guys. I'm getting pretty excited here. Can't tell. Look at that. Oh, sweet. Yeah, that looks good. Hold on. We gotta make sure we get the. Come on, baby. You gonna fight me? There we go. Oh wow. We gotta get it up over this. Is that right? You guys hear all that noise? Somebody's bought an old house and they're fixing it up over there. They've had a team of guys over there for a couple weeks now. Ooh. Not sure if it's supposed to be that tight. Should I put the snubber on after? Alright guys, well I ended up putting it on the ground and so I could get some leverage on it. Seemed to help. I was able to get that other side on. Let's see if we can get this side on without too much trouble. You have to be able to pull back on it a little bit and then tap it in. It seems to be working. All right. Boom. I'm not sure if the other side's gonna go on, how easy the other side's gonna go on. Let's see if we can do it from up here. If not, we'll put it back on the ground again. It's getting heavier though. Oh. Whew. She's getting heavy. All right, we are getting grease everywhere. But let's see if we can get these on without any trouble. Hopefully we can, because it's getting heavy to pick up. I was hoping I could build the whole thing on the table here. Yeah, that side's slid in pretty good. Let's see. Gotta tap it through. Maybe pushed it.
Get these locked in. So that one's almost spot on. Get it nice and tight, and then put the lock nut on.
I'm just gonna get them snug, and then we'll go back later and tighten them up some more. This one's off a little bit. I gotta push it in, get it pushed in a little bit more. But that's what I'm doing, getting these set up. Stand by. All right, guys, it looks like we got them all back in their original spot. Everything seemed to seat pretty good in there. Had to do a little bit of knocking around with the brass hammer just to get them to seat just right, and then putting in the final two here. All right, guys, got the torsion bars in, the torsion arms on. The link pin is in. Let's get these spindles back on. So you want to remember where your shims go and how many. All right, let's try it. So make sure I'm putting this on right. It's got to go like so. That's how it goes right there. And gotta line this up. There we go. Just had to move that pin a little bit and get that to slide through. This side had 2 shims on the inside, 4 shims on the outside. Okay, I'm gonna grease these up. All right, so we're trying to get this. We gotta pull it back and get it in here somehow. There's some tension on it. Not sure if we're gonna be able to do it or not. She's tight. Let's see if I can get up behind here. Wow. I might have to loosen that. Yep, gonna have to loosen this. Have to take this out. I have some flexibility here, I think, as far as this goes. You almost need 2 people on this. Somebody pushing up here. I'm gonna put this on here and see if that helps. That locks there. And you know what? Let's see. I'm gonna put this on here. So we have to be able to get pull on one of these. See what I'm saying? There's some guys out there probably like, you're doing it all wrong. figure it out, guys. Give me a second here. It's just a matter of squeezing one of these. Come on, baby, come on. Ooh, if it wasn't so damn slippery. Ooh. I might have to put this on the ground and use my my foot. Son of God. So close. That was really close. Alright guys, we're almost there, man. I can feel it. I just gotta get that in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, boy. Come on. Come on. Come on. Whew. I think we got it, guys. I hope so. I hope I didn't forget anything. I think I got all the shims on. Everything's in there. We gotta line these up. There's a little groove there that they gotta get lined up in. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay. So there's the two pins. There's the seal. This little, see, there's a little, they lock into this little space right here. There's a little nipple on here, or a little slot. And those lock in. And I'm hoping we'll just be able to tap these in. Brass hammer, guys, brass hammer. Wow. All right, we're looking good. Now we need to get the pin. We need to get the bolt in here. But the pin's been moved all around, so we gotta find the slot. There's a little groove in the pin that the bolt rides on. This groove right here. We gotta line that up with the bolt, okay? And it kind of just positions it where it needs to be. All right, so we're just gonna move the bolt, move the pin around until we find that spot, and there it is. Okay, and we'll try to get it like move nice in and out, nice and good. And again, we're gonna go back after and focus, when we get everything back together, then we'll focus on the torques and other things that we may need to do. Greasing all the fittings, double checking everything. And obviously when it goes back in rusty and we're ready to take it for a drive, you know, we'll need to adjust the basically giving it an alignment, make sure everything's the way it needs to be. All right, let's see how this lines up here. Okay, we need to turn this one a little bit until we find the spot. And see that, turning it this way, it snugs up to that bolt. So that's tightening it right there. See that gets tight? So we have to figure out that right tension. Where does that need to be? Because it go tight and then you loosen it, and then so there's a sweet spot there somewhere that we have to find. You can see the seal kind of opening and closing a little bit there. So there's definitely a sweet spot that we need to figure out and find. figure out how to tighten that up. But for now, we're just gonna get everything into position. I know I keep saying that, guys, sorry. We're just gonna get everything into position and go back and double check everything. I'm not tightening it, I'm just getting it so it doesn't fall off. It's still pretty loose there. All right, that's pretty exciting. Very exciting. Wow, so cool. I'm not even gonna put the caps on yet because we got some adjustments to do, but those are the grease caps we'll put on once we get everything done. I'm just gonna put these to the side. That is not easy, boy. Not easy. That was better. Put the bottom in first. Gives you more leverage. Push this up against your butt, you know, just you can pull on this pin. That definitely that seemed to work pretty good. All right. Looking good. Hey guys, what's up? It's the next day. Check it out. We are almost done with this front axle. What do we have left? The tie rods, the shocks, steering damper, and then we got to figure out the torque specs for everything. If you guys know the torque specs for the tie rod ends, for the shock bolts, for the trailing arm bolts, let me know. I'm looking on the Samba and a few other places, and it depends, varies on the year, and some information I haven't found. I did find information on tie rod ends around 20 foot-pounds. If you guys have some specific torque specs for these for this year, this is a 1962, let me know. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, we're gonna do a dry fit on these tie rods, the shocks, and the steering damper. We'll adjust the adjustable one as close to the original as possible, and just get everything put together and see how it looks. Check it out. All right, so we've got the measurement on the, this is the new adjustable one, this is the old adjustable one. I'm just trying to match them up as close as possible. I was looking at the threads here and the threads here and just tried to match them up on the ends here. And then I'm gonna take a measurement here. This is like from the center of this one to the center of this one is 21.5. And we're pretty much right on 21.5, so it may not be exact, but I'm assuming that it's gonna need some type of final adjustment by someone that can actually do the complete alignment once it's in the vehicle with the tires on it and everything. So just try to get it close as you can and you should be all right to get it, at least drive it to a shop down the street that can do the final touches on it. Can't believe it's finally back together. So cool. Very, very cool. Wow, it looks awesome. Can't wait to get it back into Rusty. It's gonna be so cool. Like I said before, guys, if you know the torque specs on these, let me know. All right, guys. See you on the next one.